everybody? I hope y'all are having another good day. So we are continuing today to build, or the compound install, trying to wrap everything else up. So today's like what, Wednesday? I pretty much took off Sunday, Father's Day, Monday work, and then Tuesday I just didn't feel like doing yesterday. So I take my time. I mean, the truck's not going to drive anywhere until I get my track bar in. So we're just chilling, but now we're back at it. I'm going to show you guys a little update in terms of, I did a couple things off camera just because it'll speed up time, but I wanted to show you because I think this is a very important step. Okay, so if you guys enjoy this, go ahead, smash the thumbs up, like button, and make sure you subscribe. All right, first order of business is I went ahead and we took off pretty much everything except the top side turbo. So went ahead and I took everything out, including the downpipe right there. You can see right now I wrapped it because I wrapped it with exhaust wrap. I had some leftover from when I did my second gen install like 2 years ago. I wrapped it, and I also went ahead and got both clamps facing this way. Just, I know it was bothering me. Something else you can see is I already told y'all, but I removed that standpipe that runs down and back up. We also, the pusher standpipe, the riser delete kit came in for that. I'm going to be showing y'all that too. So we wrapped it. Also, something that I really wanted to show y'all is I went ahead and got that bracket installed. That bracket that came with the kit, yes, it is very awkward, but I did get the bracket installed. What I ended up doing was those back two holes on the back side, so that one and the one on the other side, I ended up drilling that out with a 5/8 drill bit. Worked perfectly. Okay, so I went ahead and drilled those off while it was off the truck, and then I went back in here, reinstalled it, and then, you know, obviously hooked up the downpipe and the bottom of the turbine housing. I hooked that up and everything worked out fine. It worked out pretty good. I got it installed, and then I went ahead and used the provided long bolts. They're long bolts with with the nut. The nuts on the bottom side. I added a washer because when I opened up the hole on the bracket there, you can actually see a little bit of the hole. When I open it up, that way whenever the nut's running down, it has a flat surface to tighten again. So I added a washer to it, helped it out a lot. This thing's solid, man. It was solid before without the bracket, but I just didn't feel 100% comfortable with that heavy S480 hanging, and the only thing that was holding it was the bracket for the clamp. I didn't feel safe about it, so I ended up getting the bracket to work for it, which I'm happy about. The downpipe is reinstalled. I had to clear out some of the some of the insulation. I peeled it out, and then I actually had to, if I can get it to focus, I actually had to get right there. You see how tight it is right there? I actually had to get my dead blow, my 3-pound dead blow, and I actually kind of pushed it in a little bit. It's not going to damage nothing, just to help it clear it, because it was hitting there and wasn't allowing the Marmon flange to mount up nice and flushly. Got the turbo reinstalled. The drain tube is installed too. You can see right there, that's where you use a clamp, provided hose. You got to cut it, get it measured up. You know, all the stuff I've explained so far is for the most part pretty basic. But yeah, you can see right there, it took me like 3 times to get this cut the right length, because if it's too long, it's going to put a kink in the hose, and if it's too short, it's not going to slide over all the way. But finally got the right length for it. Everything's good. No kinks in the drain line, which is what you want. Do not have kinks in it, because if you can't drain the oil in your turbo, well, guess what? It's going to find somewhere else to drain it at, which usually means you're going to blow the seal out. But everything's looking good right now, you guys. Next thing we're going to be doing is we are going to be doing the coolant riser delete kit from Pusher. I already made my marking where I'm gonna cut at. So long story short, what happens with this kit is you cut right there to remove that top piece, take off the hose, and then Pusher provides you with a new coolant hose with a pre-made, pre-bent 90 in it. Like this comes from Pusher like this with a 90-degree in it, so it can hook up to the riser from the cylinder block or cylinder head. And then we got the hose there. Where else? We got the hardware here. It's not a whole lot, but it's enough. It's just what we need. It's gonna look real clean when we're done. These instructions are super simple. You know, you got to cut. It tells you where to cut, shows you where to cut, and then it even shows you where to drill a little hole in with a 3/16 drill bit, which I got right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get you guys set up on the camera, and I'm actually gonna do this, and then I will get back with y'all once you know. Ooh, man. Next day, it is hot outside. So I went ahead, got the coolant standpipe delete done. Everything looks super fresh. Let's see if y'all can see that. So I went ahead and I did two things. One, I didn't follow the instructions per pusher's instructions, but also before I installed this, I went ahead and put some black gasket sealer, like silicone, around it before I inserted that fitting into the pipe, just to kind of get that extra assurance of mine, because from looking at it, the only thing that it looks like is keeping coolant from leaking out of there is that O-ring. So, you know, if that O-ring was to get pinched or weakened, you know, maybe that that sealant I put in there, it'd act as a barrier a little bit to help it out. But you guys, also just came in the mail from Amazon. I went ahead and ordered some it's called heat barrier adhesive backing. It's just a thermal shielding. Where that's gonna go is right above that turbine housing, above all those black loom of wiring. I'm gonna be wrapping it with the high temp aluminum heat. I also have a turbo blanket on the way. It should be here today, actually. Got a turbo blanket on the way for that top side housing. We're gonna put a blanket on that to keep it. The goal is we don't want nothing melting up here, you know what I'm saying? These wires are very important wires for your truck. You know, if I had to be a betting man, I would bet this fat loom has something to do with your TCM down there. You don't want these wires getting burnt, so you got to make sure all your lines and stuff are out the way, just so you can be safe. So, oh, there we go. All right. So anybody wondering how to install this? Super simple. Once you go ahead and just put the turbo in like this, you're gonna have these little guys with these. Super simple. You just come over here. Once your housing is installed, and you would just mount this up against there like that, and the way that's made, get the holes lined up with the bracket, and then you just install it. So if anything, it looks, oh, I can cheat. So you can cheat too. So if you need to get clearance so you can get your bolt in, you can cheat it a little bit. You can still clock your turbo, so make sure you get your turbo clocked. What I recommend doing is installing all four of them, all four nuts or bolts, sorry. Go ahead and install your bottom one that goes down here, and then once you get it installed, clock it right. Which, I mean, right now, if I was to tighten this down, this is actually pretty spot on. You want I'd probably turn it a little bit to the, like right there. I'd probably leave it, because what you want is you want your oil feed and your drain roughly at the 12 o'clock position. It's okay if it's like a degree or two off. It's not a big deal, but like, you don't need your turbo like sideways or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and get the other one installed in the bottom, get it snugged up, and get that drain tube installed. Ooh, it's starting to look like compound turbos now, baby. That's what I'm talking about. You guys can see I got that all tightened up, super easy. I think it was a 13 mil wrench. Got that tightened up. Also went ahead and installed the drain line going down to the block down there. You can see where it connects to. Got a clamp down there, nice and good. Got a clamp right there. I went ahead and cut some of that shielding, that heat shielding, because right there on the turbine housing, the hose was touching that. Hopefully this shielding is good enough to keep it from burning through there, because this turbine will, turbo housing will definitely burn through that rubber hose. And what the last thing you want is an oil leak from your drain side, because you're going to dump all of the oil in your whole turbo system. It's going to dump out of your engine, so you can run your engine dry and wipe out your bearings. So definitely make sure your drain lines are good. I was so anal about it, I even made sure the clamp wasn't touching, just to, you know, heat transfer and stuff. A little paranoid about it, but I think we're good now. So I was looking at everything, and at this point now, I think what we're going to go ahead and do is install the compressor cover housings and the piping kit. Okay, we don't have the oil feed lines connected yet, because if I was to install the oil feed lines now, there could be a chance that they could be in the way when it's time to install all of the piping. Plus, I want to route the oil feed lines the best way with the least amount of contact with components and parts. So we're going to do that. Once I get the piping, the compressor covers installed, which I'm about to do now, and the piping kit installed, that is when I'm going to route the return line coming back from the heater core back up to the front here. I'm going to route it because at that point, that is how this engine bay will be sitting. So all lines, hoses, they need to be in the correct positions to where they're not going to get burned, rubbed, they're not going to get cut or anything. Okay, you definitely want to be taking your time doing this. It's not something you just blow through, because you'll end up paying for it on the backside. You know what I'm saying? It costs a lot of money to get oil and coolant and stuff for these trucks, let alone, Lord forbid, if you damage the engine. So let's go ahead and get those smacked. Whew, man, y'all, it is blazing out here. It's hot. It is hot. All right, so some time went by. We got some stuff done. Feeling real good right now, so I'm about to show you guys what I had to do. Now, keep in mind, this ain't gonna be the best step by step, but I'm gonna get you there. Okay, I'm gonna show you everything I did, that way you don't have to go through what I went through. Okay, so we come up here, check this bad boy out to we got the bottom S480 compressor cover housing on. Y'all, this little sucker gave me a fight. Okay, now every truck, yes, it's the same type of truck, but it's not the same in terms of measurement. Something's gonna be off, whether it's by millimeters, inches, centimeters, something's gonna be off. So check it out. My compressor cover housing would not go on the turbo because it was hitting the coil bucket section of it. It was hitting the frame pretty much. You can see right there. You can see it. It was hitting there. So what did I do? Well, I went ahead and grabbed my grinder with the 40 grit grinding wheel on it, and I grinded that sucker down and got it out the way, man. So it clears good, and there's actually space to go. Right now it's loose because we're about to when we install the I don't even know the name of it. I think boost. I don't know, but pretty much the pipe that goes from here to the front of this turbo, I'm gonna clock it correctly so it sits flush. I already installed my oil feed line back here. So when you install this one, you want it facing like that, and then you want to bring it around town, and it's gonna end up past the oil filter housing. But we can, you know, you can finagle it and whatnot, so that way it fits on there. So we're about to install the oil fittings now on the oil filter housing. So this one, the black one, is gonna go right there in the stock spot. It comes with an O-ring, and also I went ahead and put some pipe thread tape on it. Okay, make sure you do not have it to where it's going to be exposed to the oil, if that makes sense. So you see how mine is, it's only on the threads. Don't put any on the front side of it. And then we're gonna go ahead and install that one, and then we're gonna take off this guy right here next. Don't know what size it is, but it comes out. We'll take it off, and then we're gonna install the other fitting that is supplied, and that's gonna feed our little cute little S366 up here. I'm telling you guys, seeing them side by side, this S366 looks like a baby. Like, it looks like it came off of like a Volkswagen TDI, or you know, being some import car. Like, it does not look like it belongs in this truck, but obviously we all know that it does. But man, we are so close. We're getting there, you guys. So oil feed line's hooked up, compressor cover is installed. I primed the bottom turbo already. You can use regular oil, that's fine, but when I prime my turbos, I like to use this stuff. Hot Shot FR3. This stuff's pretty good. I know it's not AMSOIL, but you guys know me. If something's good, I'm gonna tell you it's good. You know, I don't bullshit. Okay. I still have some leftover, so I ran this through that turbo. I poured maybe. So if you can see how much I put in there. So where the black line was and where it's at currently, that's how much I put in there. It spins awesome, you know. And I like it because the reason why I use that stuff is because it's a synthetic lubricant, so it creates a sacrificial layer between the components, so that way it's not grinding metal on metal. Now I am a little upset with myself because I didn't nick it, but I kind of scratched my billet wheel, but it's all good. It's all good, man. I ain't worried about it. So, all right, you guys, what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna connect the oil feed line there, and then I'm gonna connect the other oil feed line from here to here, pop on the compressor cover housing for this guy, and then next what we're going to do is we're going to install our piping. You will have to kind of bend your AC line a little bit. It ain't going to damage it, trust me, it won't damage it as long as you don't kink it, no hard kinks, but you might have to kind of, you know, just get it out the way a little bit. So we got that going right there for us. All right, so I'm gonna get back with y'all once we I get better better progress. One thing I forgot to mention, you guys, prime your turbo. Prime your turbos. When you're installing brand new turbos, do not just connect it and send it, okay? A lot of turbos get wiped out within the first initial startup because people don't oil them good. Oil it, you know, run some oil through the oil feed fitting, and then you want to spin the wheel. By spinning the wheel, it'll cycle the oil around the bearings and whatnot. Now, yes, most turbos do come oiled from the manufacturer, but it ain't going to be enough for your initial startup, all right? So you need to make sure you prime these turbos, because the last thing you want to do is smoke a turbo after all this work putting it in. Oh man, you guys, I don't even know where to start at. So first thing I'm gonna say is, it's done. It is 95% done. The only thing that's not done is the downpipe. I got the clamp somewhere. I don't know where. I'm sorry if I look out of it. I'm beyond done today. I got the clamp somewhere in here to clamp up the downpipe. It is a 5" to 5". So all I had to do is get some butt clamps, and I got a piece of pipe, 5" pipe I got to cut off to fit in there and stuff. So it's done. I did start the truck already. No oil leaks. We had one coolant leak. I'm about to show you guys where it was leaking at and what I did or I'm doing to try to fix that leak. But as for the turbos themselves, everything with the kit, the turbo installation is good. The only issue I'm having right now is with the pusher coolant reroute kit, but I'll show you guys that in a second. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to start. I'm not gonna start the truck up this video because I have some sealant drying right now. I'm gonna give it 24 hours before running it. That way, no coolant can touch it and stuff. So I'll show you guys. I'm done. Let me just show you. All right. This is it. Let me take my mount off. Go ahead and put that over there so we can get good and up and personal. All right, you guys, so it's done. I just finished laying a little polish on the pipes because they were looking a little heinous, man. I scratched them up a little bit, getting them in. But, you know, it is what it is. All right, you guys, so what happened here? So if I can remember correctly, the last time we left off, I don't even remember, I'm gonna be real with y'all, but I believe the last thing we left off on was installing the boost pipe. So we had, I don't know if this is a hot pipe or I'm going to consider this a hot pipe because it's going to where it's sucking from down there. I don't know, but we installed this pipe, boost pipe, hot side pipe going to the intercooler. I was working kinks out with the air filter, so went ahead, got the air filter installed. Oh, it got cut up. So the air filter got installed. You can see the air filter, I guess, boot right there. We got that in. I did remember having an issue with the O-ring for that pipe right there. So that pipe, when you take it off, there's a groove in there for O-ring that Smedin provides. That O-ring is nowhere near, it does not fit that gap. So I had to end up using a gasket maker. So I used some sealant, pretty much RTV, put a bead in there, let it dry it up. But yeah, so we got that done. Went ahead, all the oil lines were tightened previously. We installed the air filter. Now you guys notice the battery is installed right now. So for this setup, you will have to cut. You're gonna have to cut your battery box right there. So you can see I kind of cut like a crooked 45/L, capital L. You're gonna have to cut that out. I did cut that out earlier. Let's see. I had to reposition the, I think this is the grid heater solenoid or relay. I repositioned this so it clears. I don't even know why this is here. I need to delete this because I don't have a grid heater no more. I'm legitimately thinking about just deleting this second battery, but I love having 2 batteries on a diesel truck because you go jump start somebody, it doesn't matter what side they're on, you can jump them, or, you know, that battery decides to take a dump, at least you can get the truck started and make it home on 1 battery versus if 1 battery dies, that's it, you know what I'm saying? So I might leave it, but I really do want to, or maybe a battery relocation. Some people do that, but I'm not about to be going through all that just to relocate a battery. Let's see. So issues. So what issue we were having was, this is from the pusher standpipe delete kit. What happened was right there where that little Allen screw is, it was leaking. It wasn't a lot. It was just a steady seep coming out of the hole right there where the screw was at. I had a good feeling. I anticipated that this was going to happen because when I was looking at the design that they did for it, and I'm looking at the screw and the O-ring and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know about this one. I didn't see it I did not see that not leaking, so I was anticipating it leaking. So what I did was I had to take it off. Coolant went everywhere. Take it off. I went ahead, I don't have it up here. I got my gasket maker, my 1 minute gasket maker, and I pretty much just I coated all along in there with a gasket maker, only on the walls. I didn't put any on the actual like bottom of it where coolant runs through. And I just slammed that sucker back on there and ran that little screw back in there nice and tight. It's drying. I used the 1 minute sealant or gasket maker. This stuff's awesome. So I don't want to run it right now. I'm gonna give it a full 24 hours before starting this thing, because I want that sucker to be 100% dry before I start this truck. So I will not be starting the truck again, but do know that it was leaking there. Part of me thinks that they tell you to use a 3/16 drill bit, and because it's a little bigger than the actual size of the screw, that little bit of room is enough to allow a liquid to pass through it, is what I'm thinking. An easy way around this, if it still leaks, I'm gonna end up having to take all this out, remove that standpipe, take it to my buddy's house and have him weld that piece on there permanently, because I mean, I could JB weld it, but I'm not about that life. Let's see. Turbo blanket. Okay, so subscriber who commented, or person who commented talking about I gotta fix that stuff, is good now. Okay, turbo blanket came in today. It actually fit really good. Amazon, it was like, I think it was like 25, 30 bucks, man, but that sucker fits so good. I didn't even have to use the springs on it. I got the turbo blanket on, and then I went ahead and wrapped some shielding, high temp shielding around that wire bundle. We should be solid there when it comes to the heat. You guys can see that coolant line in there. Okay, I got that going all the way around. You can see where it goes around. It goes underneath the battery and then down underneath, and then eventually, I know it's crazy. Y'all gotta stick with me. Eventually, it leads right there. So it's no crap. It's just I believe it's a 3/4, if not 5/8 heater hose, and you just clamp it there, route it, get you a coupling, and connect it there, and you're good. The biggest reason why I did not record what I had left, two things. One, it was pretty straightforward what I had to do left in terms of connecting the pipes, air filter, turbo blanket. It was pretty straightforward. The only thing that might have been tricky, or you might need help with, is cutting this guy. But if you intend on running your second battery, you're going to have to cut out a little slot there. One, for the air filter, and two, so you can also install it. I forgot to mention that. So you can do this two ways. You can install the tray before you install this pipe. If not, you will have to I cut the arm off. You can actually see it right there. I cut that arm off because that arm, there's an arm right there. It was in the way when I was trying to install this battery tray. So I went ahead and just cut it off, because I mean, it wasn't serving a purpose. The battery tray is in its stock location right now. This is a tight fit, you guys. It's doable, but it is a tight fit. I tell you what, installing this boost tube right here was also another fight, because it pretty much is big enough for where it's at. This pipe should be a little shorter, maybe about 1 inch shorter, so that way you can install it and adjust it. But nah, this thing's like on the money. I have a Mishimoto intercooler with 3.5 inch outlets, so thank God I had a adapter boot in the garage lying around, because you can't use the Smedden provided 3-inch boots you can't use it on the 3.5 inch ones. So you can see it drops down from 3.5 inch to 3 inch. I bought this like a 1.5 years ago off Amazon, but it's good though. Everything's good. It's all zipped up. It ran fine. It sounded amazing. Not a whole lot of whistling from idle, so it's not going to be like a Fleece Cheetah or one of the Power Strokes like a 0360. It's not going to be screaming and whistling like that yet. Idling to be honest, it still sounds like a Cummins, which that's what I wanted. But yeah, so you guys, it's been a long, eventful day. It's been a long week. This took me a week, you guys. I don't think you understand, man. But with the results we have right now, I ain't even mad. I actually, if anybody noticed, I flipped my clamp. I rotated them because I wanted them facing the same direction, because I think it looks good when they're all uniformed and stuff. Even down here, you can see that. And on top of that, you can actually access them, like obviously if you take the battery out, you can actually access the clamps and stuff easily. with a ratchet. I used the electric ratchet on everything and then snugged it up. But you guys, man, this thing is fat. Like, legitimately, this thing takes up a lot of space. By far the most challenging installation I have ever done on this truck. That's another thing too. I don't know if this is the mass airflow sensor or what, but that sensor there, I had to get 3 washers on each side because once again, Smedden didn't provide the right length screws, so the screws were too long. Or sorry, if you reuse your stock screws, they're too long. Smedden doesn't provide screws, so I ended up having to get washers and space them out so that way it can sit flush and still press down on it, because if not, the O-ring is going to push it out. But yeah, you guys, it's a tight fit, but everything looks good. I was so happy and grateful, super happy when I cranked her up, and you know, no smoke, no weird noises, oil pressure was good, you know, everything was good. The only hiccup I had was that coolant guy right there. Everything was good, man. Just so happy. You know, in terms of boost leaks, we'll know if we have a boost leak when we go and test drive. Unfortunately, you guys know I'm waiting on a track bar right now, so I won't be able to test drive it today, yet alone start it, because I don't want to. Yeah, we got old Shirley wrapped up, man. Man, it looks good. All right, you guys, this is it. We're done. Like I said, for the most part, we're done. Just a quick disclaimer. I 100% did not plan, or how do I say it? I 100% planned to start the truck and let y'all hear the turbos running and everything. I did not want to leave a cliffhanger like this. You guys know I'm not really big into cliffhangers and stuff. But so I do apologize that, you know, you can't hear it run, but trust me, it runs, it's good. Just stay tuned for next video. Please subscribe, hit the bell notification, so that way as soon as I upload the next video, you guys can get it, hear it, watch it. The next video is going to be either the oil change that I'm going to be doing, or it's going to be when I install the track bar. Because when I install the track bar, that's when we can drive the truck for the first time. Man, it was a lot. It was a lot of work, man. I'm tired. It's hot out here, but I want to get it done today, and I had to, you guys. So thank you guys so much. Please comment down below. I want to hear what you guys have to think or have to say. You guys know me, I read all the comments. I try to respond to all the comments. Sometimes, you know, it just gets a little too much. Be on the lookout. I'm going to be dropping a video talking about the YouTube scene in terms of diesel community and stuff. Some stuff in my mind that I think, you know, it can benefit the YouTube community and whatnot. Okay, so until next time, you guys, thank you so much. If you enjoyed the video, smash a thumbs up, please, and thank you guys again. This was a awesome install, by far the hardest I've ever done, but I loved it. It was challenging, got it done in the driveway. That's the base of this, that is the theme of this channel, is you can get it done in the driveway, okay? I ain't no special person, y'all. I ain't never worked at a diesel shop before, you know what I'm saying? As long as you got that will and that tenacious dog inside of you, you can get it done, all right? So peace out, you guys. Take it easy, be safe. I'll see y'all soon.